seen my video and to have me make a video specially to answer your question, send me an email to englishclubusa@yahoo.com, and you can visit my website at englishclubusa.com for a free life membership. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Welcome to the most interesting video on verb to be. Earlier you saw videos that have to do something with the verbs, and we talked about verbs being binary. On the one hand, you have action verbs, and on the other hand, you have description verbs. Well, we talked about description and action verbs as something that description verbs as being binary as fact and opinion. Well, is that all about verbs to be? Is that all about description verbs? Well, I have a surprise for you. And this video is about that surprise. So you'll ask me a question, what is the surprise about this video? Well, this video is very special because nobody thinks that verb to be has something to do with time. Well, this video is about verb to be and how verb to be is used to describe changes in time. So let's take a look and see, and let's ask ourselves a question. Is this a binary situation again? Does that mean that there are things that are complementing each other? And I promise you, there are two things that are complementing each other. So this is not just a binary video, it's a double binary video. So let's see how verb to be works when it comes to time. I'll tell you a little story, so we will make this video fun. When I came to Uruguay in 2013, I was not an English teacher. Surprise! In 2013, I was not an English teacher. So if you remember in the previous videos when we talked about verb to be, in the past tense, that's a verb was. So it's a fact. When I came to Uruguay, I was not an English teacher. I don't have a diploma, I don't have a certificate that says Valerio is an English teacher. I have other certificates, but not the English teacher certificate. So that's a fact. I was not an English teacher. In 2013, I left my apartment, I walked down the street, and I saw a house. And the house says, speak English. And I said, aha, speak English? I'm here. So I knocked on the door, a beautiful lady opened the door, and she says, how can I help you? I said, do you speak English? And she said, yes, I do. I said, well, are you looking for English teachers? And she says, are you an English teacher? I said, yes, I am. That was a lie. I lied. I was not an English teacher. So she invited me in, she called the director of the institute, and they scheduled an appointment for the next day. Well, the next day came, I had about a 45-minute interview with the director of a language institute, and then she asked me a question, okay, Valerio, when would you like to start? I said, in 15 minutes. She said, no. 15, no. Come on Monday, we will give you all of your class schedule, we will give you your material, and you can start on Monday. I said, okay. So on Monday, when I came, what happens? Now, I am an English teacher. So the question is there a way that we can possibly describe a quick change from one fact in a negative format to another fact in a positive format? And yes, there is. So when I was not an English teacher and then I was an English teacher, that's a quick change. That means I became an English teacher. So what happens? This is your verb to be. That means a quick change in the fact of negative to a positive. It works exactly the same way from a positive to a negative. Well, as we just saw, when you change quickly in verb to be from positive to negative or from negative to positive, like I became an English teacher when I was not and now I am, there is the opposite part, something that is not a quick change, but something that is a slow change in the verb to be. Something that is not something that just happens, but something that takes a long time to change. And that change isn't from one limit to the other limit, but it's a slow change where the amount of something gets bigger. So naturally, let me give you an example. Well, I love Buenos Aires. I also love Rio de Janeiro. And I live in Montevideo. So one time I bought tickets. I wanted to go to Buenos Aires and I wanted to go to Rio de Janeiro. And I am in Montevideo. So what do? Normally I fly directly from Montevideo to Rio de Janeiro. It takes me 3 hours and it costs about $400. So the trip is quick. But I wanted to also go to Buenos Aires. So what I did was I decided to go from Montevideo to Rio de Janeiro through Buenos Aires. So instead of taking 3 hours that it normally takes, it took me 13 hours in order to get from Montevideo to Rio de Janeiro. So the question is, if my airplane left at 6:30 in the morning and I arrived to Rio de Janeiro at 7:30 at night, was I tired? You say, well, I was tired, but was is a fact. Remember, was is a fact. So what is tired? I don't know. But when I got to the airport at 6:30, was I tired? And you say, well, no. And I will say, yes, I was. A little, definitely. Because I only had 2 hours of sleep. So when I arrived and my airplane left at 6:30, I was a little tired. So let's say I was approximately 20% tired. And as the time passed by, I was becoming more tired. Wait, becoming is a quick change. But we're talking about 13 hours. That's not quick, that's slow. So when you're talking about a slow change, then what happens was that I didn't become tired. I wasn't tired, but I grew tired. So whenever you have a change in an adjective, in a quality, that change, if it's a slow change, it's a grow. If it's a quick change, it's a become. So you ask you, okay, now we were talking about changes. Well, that's one side of the story. But you said, Valerio, everything's binary. So if you're not talking about changes, what else can you talk about when it comes to verb to be and how be measures time? Well, in the other case is when you compare something the way it is to whether it's normal or it's not normal. So when something that is in time shorter than normal, okay, then there's a way to say that. For example, I decided to go to Rio for 10 days. And in 10 days, I had to return to Montevideo. I didn't want to return to Montevideo. Rio is very nice. I love Rio. I love Montevideo, but I love Rio. So I wanted to be in Rio 3 more days. How can I be in Rio 3 more days? You cannot be in Rio, but there's another be that has to do with time. A time that is shorter than normal. So my normal vacation was 10 days, and 3 days is shorter than 10 days. So I didn't decide to be in Rio 3 more days. I decided to stay in Rio 3 more days. So whenever you say that something is shorter than normal, you're talking about a stay. So for example, I decided to stay in Rio 3 more days. Okay. And we say, Valeria, but everything is binary, right? There are two things. Exactly. So when you're talking about something that is shorter than normal, that means there has to be something that is longer than normal. That's exactly correct. So I'll tell you a little secret. I have a student. Her name is Dr. Maria. I met Dr. Maria 4 years ago. More, 5 years ago, I think. But 6 years ago, Dr. Maria has been with me for 6 years. So, Dr. Maria, normally my students, they stay with me 6 to 8 months, 6 to 12 months. In 1 year, usually, my students are finished studying English. If they want to advance a little more, they continue a little more. But usually in 1 year or less, I'm done. So, Maria decided to be my student forever. So how can Maria be my student? Be is a fact. Nothing is forever. So how can something that is a fact be false? So you cannot say that Maria decided to be my student. What you can say that Maria remained with me for more than 6 years. So whenever you're talking about verb to be, remember, you have two choices. One choice is talking about changes. You have changes, or you have a comparison to normality. When it comes to time, you can have either a quick change or slow change, or what you can have something additional to whatever normal is, and that additional is either something shorter than normal or something longer than normal. Make sure you go and you look at the homework, and you will definitely practice this, because this idea is not very common for most languages. And it's not very common for English. This probably will be your first and only video that you will see on the idea of being something of time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you will go and try doing the homework, and I hope that you will be able to think just like a native speaker. I hope to see you next time. To be in my video and to have me make a video specially to answer your question, send me an email to englishclubusa@yahoo.com, and you can visit my website at englishclubusa.com for a free life membership. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.